What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Webhead Workshop. This is a brand new channel that I've just created, so if you're just now seeing this, thank you so much for the support and being with me from the very beginning. But anyways, this is a channel dedicated towards all of my 3D prints and projects that I may do. I'd like to bring you all along for the ride. If this is something that y'all are interested in, please drop a like and a follow, and comment what you'd like to see next. For the stuff that I'd be doing on this channel, here's a couple sneak peeks. This is a video I'm about to be making soon. This is a web shooter inspired by JLaser. It looks kind of similar, but I made tons of different improvements and modifications. So that'll be the next video. If I've made it, I'll attach it to the video here, or I'll put it into the description below. And then here's another model that I've made. Definitely a prototype. It's inspired by the Spider-Man Homecoming. That'll be coming out as soon as I finish this. If y'all would like to see the design process, leave a comment below and I'll make a video on that. All of these web shooters that you see and that I make from here on will be on my shop, either in Etsy or wherever I plan on putting these. I'll put a link for that below so y'all can buy that if y'all would like. Alright, so I just recorded the entire video not realizing that my camera just quit working. So here we are. I have a new lighter. This is a lighter that I had gotten from Walgreens, just over the counter. Let me show. This is what I had bought, $8 for like, I don't know, $8, so $1 a lighter or something like that. I don't know, but in the description below, I will have a link to Amazon. I bought these lighters. It's like $10 for 50 lighters or something. They look the exact same, and they should have the exact same parts in them. They may just be a different size. All of my models will be off of those dimensions and off of those lighters. So anyways, we'll be following along with this lighter, but yours should be the same if you buy the ones from Amazon. But either way, if you buy your own, just make sure inside here there's a little screw cap in there that allows you to, like, if you unscrew it, there's like a hole, you know, about yay big that you can get into the cartridge of the lighter itself. Make sure that's the one you get. If you get the big ones, that's not going to work. Those are not refillable in any convenient manner. But these, the clear ones that have the screw in there, those will work just fine. But all right, let's get into this. So this is one that I have used already, so it's not going to have the butane in it, but I've reassembled it partly in order to show you how it works. But anyways, so the first step is to take off this fire guard right here. You could do that just by prying this open. It'll be easier for me because it's already loose, but if it's not easy for you, you can take, like, you know, I have my snippers that I'd used first. You can pry it open there, or use something to pry it open. Anyways, once you get it off, you're not going to need this anymore. Put it to the side. All right, now you have this. So here's the little spinner. Underneath it should be the flint, and underneath that is the spring. Once you take off the spinner, it should explode everywhere. So I would recommend being careful and not, like, losing flint somewhere. Here we go. I got that. Could not for the life of me get the flint back in there, so I only have the spring. But you should have flint. All right, now we're at this stage. We have this little lever, and here you can see that little stopper in there. You can unscrew it, and then that gives you access to the inside. But the next step is to take off this little lever. So we do that. The easiest way to do that is to kind of pull these open while pulling this up. And you can, like, twist this out of here almost. Try not to break it because we need this. As well as this. This can be a little fragile sometimes, a little spout. But basically pull this out and then twist it up a little bit until you feel it pop out. And then once you feel it pop out, you can push the other side and then it should come right up. And then make sure to pull this out safely. you may get a little butane out. So I recommend doing this and any future steps outside. I'm not liable for any damages that may be caused because we are working with flammables here. I may be trying to do other mixtures that don't include butane, maybe like spray glue or maybe using like compressed air. So stay tuned for that, but for now we're just going to do butane. The next step is to use the tweezers or something, or the snippers or pliers, needle nose pliers, to try and get this out of there. So you'll just kind of unscrew it. Once you've get it unscrewed enough, you can just use your fingernail to get it out of there. And it's got quite a long screw in there, so you may be at this for a while trying to get this out. I'll be working on a better way to refill this, but for now, this is what I have. There we go. It's unscrewed. That's what it looks like. In the bottom here, there should be like a little stopper. That's the limiter in there. You also have this little tube. We want to remove that tube as well. So you could just kind of like shake it out of there. Just like that. That's what you have, and the stopper should be right on top of it. I'm going to take all of that out. All right. When you do that, it'll explode everywhere. The butane will start coming out, so you want to, once it starts hissing, then that's when you want to stop, let all the butane out, maybe even shake it upside down, and then proceed once it's all out of there. Do not get this in your eyes. Do not make it anywhere close to flames, because it will explode. You basically just want to let it air out outside. Be safe with this. But anyways, now that we've got an empty lighter, now we're going to fill it with our mixture. So I had already mixed this up beforehand when I did the first take. But basically this is like about like 65% to, what is that, like 35%? So like 65% Dawn soap, just like dish soap, and then water. You want it kind of thick, but not like insanely thick, just a little thinner than what you have in here. Just add a little bit of water to this, and then you should be good. And then what we're gonna do is take our syringe. So I had modified this. I put a WD-40 little tip on it, that little straw from the WD-40 can. I think it just helps, but I think you could do it with just this, but the syringe definitely helps a ton. So you may want to get that. So anyways, we're going to start filling this up. Be slow with it. If you go too fast, you'll get extra air in there. And just let it take its time, because it's pretty thick. See, I'm not even moving it, it's still coming into the syringe. Once you've got a good amount in there, I think we're good here. That should be enough. Then we're gonna take our lighter. We're gonna dip the syringe into that hole, and we're gonna start filling this up. Okay. All right, so if you notice, this lighter has two kind of compartments. There's a little wall inside of there. I would recommend putting this like to set kind of like on something and just like let it kind of set there for a little bit. However, you want kind of like to fill up one of these reservoirs and then fill up, you know, a little less than halfway on the other one. You want to get like, I don't know, about 60% of this in there, and then the rest of butane. I found that that's the best mixture to get the most out of it. However, for this purposes, on time, I'm just going to fill up one side and then call it good. But now that we've got it filled, you're going to screw this back into there, a little valve. That was the wrong side. I'm going to screw it into the right side, along with the threads. I'm going to get that pretty much all the way in there. And then you want to screw it not too tight. If you screw it too tight, you won't be able to get it out. If you screw it too tight, this little fork will actually come up and off because the pressure is too much. So you just want to screw it until it starts giving you little pressure back, just until it stops spinning. Like right there. That's about how much you'd want. All right. And then this little part is a little tricky. You're gonna want to get this underneath it, but you also want to get these little extra bits into the holes on the side, the bottom ones. Don't put it into the top, put it into the bottom holes. The best way to do that is to put it like this, and then you want to kind of angle one of them inside, and then putting force downward, eventually it'll snap in there. And then just like that, and then test it out, make sure it's good. You want to make sure that that little spout is coming up and that both of them are in the holes there. Once you've got that going on, now's the time for the butane. Again, do this outside. It smells like rotten eggs. It is disgusting. But anyways, you're gonna want to press down this button right here. That opens up the lighter. And then once you have that, you want to take this, the little nozzle there, and put it onto the valve there. And you want it straight up and down as much as possible, because if you have it at an angle, it'll just spew out the side there. All right, you want it straight up and down. So you're gonna press down the nozzle, or press down the little lever here, and then push down on the butane at the same time. All right, there we go. It may take a couple tries. It took me a couple tries to get it down. And then you can, that butane is cold. Try not to get it on your hands. And you can see it's even freezing up on the sides there. But once you've got it, if you look, the soap is now much thinner now. And that is a good sign. So now you're gonna want to shake it up as much as possible. Kind of flip it around, get that butane pretty much everywhere. Going all throughout there as much as possible. Shake it up again, even more. All right, so this looks foamier than it normally does, probably because I had extra foam in there, but you want it to kind of look a little frothy, or like snowy almost, at least for my Dawn. But this should work. And again, it'll take a couple tries. You know, you probably won't get this on the first try. If you do, congratulations. But it took me a couple tries to figure this out. But once you've got it, you should be good now. Here I've got my web shooter. I'm gonna load it up. Just like that. And we're gonna put it on. We're gonna test this thing out. See how it does. Look at that, there we go. All right. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And if you'd like to see any more of this, leave a comment. Let me know what I should do next. Bye.